leader, I was told. Be confident and assertive. Prove yourself and win respect. Strong teams depend on strong leadership, so if you want to make a difference, be an independent leader for others to follow. At least that's what I always thought. But what if following is actually the more difficult role? What if the best way to lead is to first be a follower yourself? This realization set me on a path to the Olympics, but it didn't come easily. Through high school, I was an average gymnast and runner, so I was thrilled to find natural talent as a rower when I walked on to the Purdue University crew team in 2009. I immediately loved rowing. I loved being outside, exerting myself, racing, and constantly improving. I loved the strength, endurance, mental toughness, and technical skill required. I loved it, and I was good at it. I couldn't believe it. Less than 4 months after my first day in a boat, and I was beating everyone on the team. This talent made me confident, and I quickly became a team leader. I worked hard and hoped other people would follow me. I tried to be perfect. I raced myself and focused on my individual journey. And eventually, my individual goals turned to the elite level. In 2014, while I was in graduate school at the University of Michigan, I got an email invitation to train at the Olympic Team Training Center in Princeton, New Jersey. I had to accept. This prestigious group of about 30 women is where the national team big boats are chosen. In the past 10 years, the US women had earned Olympic silver and 2 Olympic gold medals in the 8, Olympic bronze in the quad, and many world championship medals. In fact, the US women's 8 hadn't lost a single race since 2005. These tall, strong, naturally talented, fiercely competitive, and intimidating women were perfect to me. I wanted to be them. This was exactly what I'd always wanted. I was thrown right into the mix, racing with and against Olympic medalists, my idols and heroes. I pushed hard every day, trying to impress them. I was beyond excited. But I quickly realized I was struggling. Before, I had relied on my natural talent, but now athletes with talent and experience surrounded me. I pretended to know what I was doing, but my boats weren't going fast. I was exhausted. It seemed we rowed more in a day than I had in a week in college. After our first fitness test, I finished last. I kept pushing, desperate to improve, but eventually the exhaustion and nagging pain caught up to me, and one morning I woke up with back spasms so bad I couldn't stand up. I was devastated. I thought it was over. My work ethic and talent had failed me. I needed a new strategy. My injury that summer was probably the best thing that could have happened to me. I got a chance to restart. And it started with observation. I watched my teammates. I observed them, rowing, warming up, what they ate, what they said in the locker room, how they handled injuries, how they spoke to each other or coaches, how they raced. I saw their unique strengths. Christine communicated clearly. Moose had incredible self-discipline. Adrian always held a clear and consistent rhythm. Felice had amazing core strength. Lauren always fit in extra workouts. Tessa put her head down, got the work done. Molly could make anyone laugh. Erin would laugh at anything. And Elle, the great Eleanor Logan, was calm in the most stressful situations. But I also realized these women I idolized weren't perfect. They had injuries, bad workouts, and insecurities too. When you spend 6 hours a day training together, you see everything. I reflected on all this. I thought, what is she doing to be successful? Is it working? And then I thought, do I have the capacity to do that too? Would mimicking her help me? The last part was the hardest. Changing. I adapted. I found humility. I realized that I wasn't perfect either, but I could improve. And finally, After about a year of following my teammates, I was improving, more than when I had just relied on coaches or figuring it out on my own. I was getting stronger, my boats were moving faster. But great, you may be thinking, identifying role models, learning by example, that's not anything new. Most people already do that. What I had discovered was more than a learning style. By following my teammates, by observing, reflecting, and adapting, I was more in tune to the team than I had been to just myself. I found the value of following in building a stronger team. I found that following is support. Everyone has something good to offer. By matching people's strengths, instead of criticizing their weaknesses, we're more effective. Following is trust and respect. People liked rowing with me because they could tell I respected them, and I genuinely did. Following is confidence. I realized that I didn't always have to prove I was the best. I didn't always have to speak up. Things didn't have to be done my way. I gave up control and individuality for the good of the team. Instead of leading, I followed. Instead of waiting for people to match me, I matched them. Instead of feeling jealous when I lost, I thought about how they did it. Instead of talking, I listened. Instead of criticizing, I supported. Instead of being stubborn, I adapted. I followed. This subtle change in mindset made all the difference. And last June, I was named to the US Olympic Women's 8. For all of us, it was a dream come true. So here we are rowing on Lake Carnegie in Princeton. So what is the 8? So there are actually, pay attention, 9 athletes in the 8. So one athlete, the coxswain, sits in the back of the boat, facing forwards to steer and encourage her 8 rowers who are facing backwards. Generally speaking, the most technical rowers sit in the front of the boat, the most powerful and strongest sit in the middle, and the most consistent and rhythmic sit in the back. The athlete sitting closest to the coxswain, facing away from everyone so she sets the rhythm, as everyone watches her back, following her, is the stroke seat. That's me. I was the stroke seat. After all this time, I was learning to follow. I was named to the only seat that can't see anyone. Now I was objectively a leader, but I didn't act like the leader I'd once strived to be. I did the same things I had as a follower. I supported my teammates' strengths. I trusted the vision of the boat. And I was confident enough to recognize that I wasn't the best. And that was okay, because all that mattered was that the whole boat was the best. And we wanted to be the best in the world. Thanks to audio recorded by Caitlin, our coxswain, let me bring you back to the Olympic final in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, on August 13th, 2016. At the start, we are crazy with nerves, but Caitlin calms us by telling us to focus on each other. Nothing matters except for the women in our boat.
The Netherlands.
All right, let's get ready.
Romania.
All about the girl in front.
United States.
Breathe.
Great Britain. Canada. New Zealand. Attention.
Press. Complete. Now horizontal legs. Lengthen. Full.
As we start, I am aware that everyone in the boat is watching me, following my rhythm. But I am confident because I have been following them for years. As we cross the 750-meter mark, I sneak a glance across, and I see we're in third, down a second to Canada. I focus back in, as Caitlin says.
Fitness. Right now. Second 5. You're walking on Canada. Half a seat from them, 1 seat from Netherlands. 750 push for the girl in front. In 2. 1, 2, now!
Push for the girl in front. To follow someone else takes courage. Here we are in the Olympic final, the biggest race of our lives. 9 individuals, unique women, each giving our maximum all-out effort while managing to stay perfectly in sync, flowing with the rhythm, committed to each other. If anyone were to do something differently, we would lose momentum. But now we're crossing the halfway point, and the wind picks up. The boat rocks, our legs burn, vision blurs. We don't think, just move. We are one unit.
We are the United States Women's A! Yeah!
10 years of dominance in this event. Even more than following each other, we follow all the women that have trained in the system. Every woman who has beat us on a workout, or sat in front of us in a boat, or said something inspiring in the locker room. We are the women of the USA, past and present. We follow each other.
On bell ball! Last couple! You got it! You got it! Yeah! Yes! Yes! Yes!
We did it. On the dock, I stood next to my role models and idols, now as teammates and friends. We did it together, which is so much better than doing it alone. Learning how to follow made me a better rower, but I think these values apply to the real world. Who can you learn from? Observe. What are your teammates, colleagues, and peers doing to find success? Reflect. Can you do that too? Adapt. Are you willing to make a change that will benefit the team? Are you willing to hand the reins over to someone else? And then, once you truly know how to follow, you may discover that you were leading all along. Thank you.